The morning sunlight gleamed off the glass facade of the Frost and Hart Corporation, reflecting across the polished conference table on the 37th floor. The city sprawled beneath, a glittering maze of ambition and chaos. Alexandra Frost, CEO of the multi-billion-dollar company, sat at the head of the table, her posture sharp, her eyes cold and calculating. She was the embodiment of control, the woman they all called the Ice Queen. No one dared make a mistake in her presence. Welcome back to my channel, Classic Stories. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Now, let's dive into the story. Every detail mattered. Every slip could cost a career, or worse. In the corner of the room, bent over a projector with a tangle of cables, was Liam Walker, 35, a single dad, and IT support at Frost and Hart. He was invisible to most, a quiet man who went unnoticed, except when the network faltered or the screens refused to light. His shirt was wrinkled, his eyes red from another sleepless night with his 7-year-old daughter, Lily, on his mind. She was all that mattered, his reason for enduring the grind of a corporate world that didn't care about people like him. Suddenly, Alexandra's gaze cut across the room. Her sharp blue eyes locked onto Liam's. He had glanced at the edge of her screen, just for a moment, checking the projector connection. "Peek again and you're fired," she snapped, shutting her laptop with a resounding click. The room went silent, the air thick with tension. Everyone froze. Liam looked up, calm, unafraid. He said softly, steady, "If I wanted to peek at your secrets, this company would have been gone months ago." A ripple of disbelief spread through the room. Nobody had dared speak to Alexander like that. Liam's life had been a series of abrupt turns. Once, he had been a lead security engineer at a prestigious tech firm in San Francisco. He had built systems, protected data, and earned respect. But one report changed everything. He had uncovered a serious security vulnerability and reported it. Instead of gratitude, he was blamed. They fired him, labeled him a liability, and blacklisted him. 6 months later, his wife died in a car accident. With no job, no reputation, and a shattered world, Liam chose the only path left, survival. He took the first job that allowed him to pick up his daughter from daycare every day, a low-paying IT support position nobody noticed. Yet, in those quiet hallways and server rooms, Liam's brilliance remained hidden, unacknowledged, but very much alive. Alexandra Frost had her own scars. Once, she had trusted completely her business partner, her closest advisor, the person who sat in every confidential meeting. But betrayal had cut deep. That partner had sold sensitive data to competitors, almost destroying her company. Since then, Alexandra trusted no one. She built walls around herself, behind expensive suits and razor-sharp words. Every glance at a screen was cautious, every click calculated. Mornings at Frost and Hart were predictable for Liam. Drop Lily at daycare, rush to work, fix whatever was broken, and leave in time to pick her up. He never stayed late. He didn't need to impress anyone. He just needed to be there for her. Yet, despite his quiet presence, his mind constantly scanned networks, firewalls, and logs. He protected the company the same way he protected Lily, carefully, silently, without seeking recognition. 3 days before the merger presentation, disaster struck. The projector failed. The top-floor conference room was reserved for executives only, a room that could decide the fate of a billion-dollar deal. Liam was the only one who could fix it. He carried his toolbox through the glass doors, past the tense executives, and knelt beside the projector. Alexandra barely looked up. "Fix it fast," she said. "Voice ice." Time ticked down. 13 minutes. 12. Everyone watched. Liam swapped cables, reset connections, and finally, the screen flickered on. For a brief moment, the merger term sheet appeared, figures, clauses, and strategies worth billions. Alexandra saw it. Her screen, her secrets. Her eyes narrowed. She slammed her laptop shut. "Peek again and you're fired," she said, her voice final, cutting through the room. Liam took a deep breath, calm as ever. He said, steady, "If I wanted to peek at your secrets, this company would have been gone months ago." The room froze. Executives whispered to each other. Alexandra's mind raced, memories of betrayal clawing at her chest. Liam's calm was not arrogance, it was experience. He had been falsely accused, destroyed, and yet he chose to protect instead of retaliate. The security breach had begun weeks ago. Liam had detected unusual login attempts on the M&A folder. 17 times, someone had tried to access sensitive files from outside office hours. Instead of raising an immediate alarm, Liam set a trap. He created a fake file with digital trackers, a lure for the intruder. He needed absolute proof before accusing anyone. He understood what it was like to be blamed for something you didn't do. Hours passed as Liam and Alexandra worked side by side in the dimly lit conference room. At midnight, Lily's goodnight text buzzed on Liam's phone. "Love you, Daddy. Sleep tight." He smiled, his heart full. Alexandra watched, understanding for the first time the stakes of his life. Protecting the company was like protecting Lily, personal, intimate, and worth every risk. When the intruder opened the fake file, the logs captured every action, timestamps, IP addresses, devices. The culprit, Nicole Adams, Alexandra's right-hand executive, someone she had trusted for years. The confrontation the next day was tense. Nicole's face crumbled as the evidence was laid bare. She had sold secrets to protect herself, just as Alexandra had once been betrayed. But Liam's careful planning had ensured that truth prevailed without destroying innocent lives unnecessarily. In the aftermath, the company learned a lesson about trust. Nicole was suspended, a legal investigation launched. But Liam, the quiet IT guy, became visible. His integrity and calmness had not only saved the merger, but also reshaped the culture of Frost and Hart. Alexandra called Liam to her office weeks later. She offered him the position of head of information security, a role that recognizes expertise, his judgment, and his unwavering character. The salary was triple, the hours flexible. But for Liam, the reward was deeper: trust, respect, and the ability to be there for Lily. 6 months later, Liam's life was different. He picked up Lily every day, attended school events, and finally felt seen, not as a scapegoat or invisible IT guy, but as a man whose choices and calmness under pressure had made a difference. Alexandra had changed, too, learning that real strength was not in fear or intimidation, but in measured trust and courage. The final test came unexpectedly. A new employee fumbled with a projector in the executive conference room. The confidential slides flickered across the screen. The young man froze, terrified of Alexandra's wrath. But she smiled, calm and reassuring. "If you were here to steal secrets, you wouldn't be fixing the projector," she said. Liam watched from the corner, pride swelling in his chest. The lesson had come full circle. The calm reply, the patience, and the quiet integrity had not just saved a company, they had reshaped hearts. Lily would grow up seeing a father who stayed steady, even when the world was unfair. Alexandra would remember that true leadership was measured in trust, not fear. In that quiet moment, Liam realized something profound. Power can demand fear, but it's character that inspires it. One single dad, one calm reply, and a world of difference. Thank you for watching Classic Stories. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that remind us how powerful compassion truly is.